Hi again. I hope this is my last video for the day. I want to get this one in. Remember I mentioned that I used to work in St. Thomas, the U.S. Virgin Islands? Well, there's a story that I remember that happened. I think it all ties in about companies and institutions and what they're all about. Well, I used to work at this company, and this individual, I think he came in after, I'm not sure whether he was hired before me or not, but either way, um, he he lived in St. Croix, and he would take the like a ride from the airport to the company, and because it's some miles away, and he would fly in with the owner of the company, since the owner also lived in St. Croix. And he's originally from the U.S. mainland, I think in Virginia. And one occasion, the first time I ever met him, he came in from behind me, and he squeezes on my neck. And I turn around, I see him. I said, not to touch me. I'm not his wife. He better keep his hands to himself. And he just started laughing, and he said, "Oh, you remind me of my sister. I was just playing around. And that was it. But in future meetings, he would always bring it up. So, when I first met you, you said that to me. He act like he was a jerk. And he did come across like in, I'm not going to say the actual word, but in black vernacular, he act like a black, a jive, you know what, okay? He was jive, definitely. He was real, real tall. He's a former basketball player and one of those big bones. Really big bone, really heavy, you know. And one day, well, he asked me for a lift to the airport. And I thought nothing of it. I mean, it's maybe 3 years had passed since that incident, and he was okay. He just acted like a jerk, and I put him in his place. But this, excuse me, this one particular time, he asked for a lift. He gets in the car, and he says, "Hey, do I smell?" I said, "No, no, I don't smell anything." He says, "Well, you know, I was fired, and the office, uh, the lady, so and so said that, being really mean to me." He says, "You're out of here. You're fired. You have to leave immediately, and you smell." And just really mean. And this person was the head of human resources, and I didn't know she was like that. I never heard her speak that way to anyone. She always carried herself at that time very, very sharp, very sophisticated, an excellent presentation in appearance. And I never heard her say, anything foul mouthed. But he was telling me what happened and I think he also, it could have been the same conversation. He mentioned that they hired him because they thought like they said, "Oh, we got this big black, what do you call it, not stud, buck, this big black buck, and he's to do these sexual things with some of the ladies there." I'm not sure whether it was human resource or somebody there, and they were hoping that he would be doing that with them. This is bizarre. I said, "Yeah, that's what happened to me." And all of a sudden now, she's telling me all this stuff, and that I'm fired, and no reason, but I'm out. So this is really something. So I'm wondering, yeah, baby, that's my little doggy. So I'm wondering about some of these companies, and this is a conservative West Indies, and they wanted him to do sexual stuff, and and they got real temperamental, and said, you got to leave. No, 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 no warn, nothing. So you're out of here. So I just thought this was something to share, and that even companies that you work for are not what they appear to be. And I'm remembering also that they also want to control where your money goes to. I remember they also, it was some organization that supposed to represent children, and not going to give the name, but it's international. And they said, like, if you donate X amount of money, that they'll match it, and it's for the children. Now, I do love children, but that organization I heard about is involved with what do you call it, sexualizing young children, I heard. And so I'm not about that. I'm not going to put in, not even a penny. And so my boss at that time was saying, oh, the organization, they promise to, for every dollar that they'll contribute $1 or something like that, or $2. And we want the whole company to do it. I said, well, I don't feel comfortable doing it. Oh, well, okay, you don't have to give your own money. I'll give it for you using my money, but have your name. And I said, I really don't feel comfortable with it. Well, after that, because I insisted, no, I didn't want anything associated with that organization, and I stand my ground on that. But it hurt me in the company. I stopped getting raises. The review, the yearly or bi-yearly review I got was awful, and he started mistreating me verbally. So you see, these companies are connected to these large institutions that are allegedly for the children, okay, for the kids, and then to get punished by not contributing to these institutions, and they could fire you, they could harass you. Yeah, awful, awful. So I just thought, be aware about the companies that you work for. And especially when it's very large, they may require you to do things or to contribute to things, and if you don't get a raise, and they'll harass you. So that's all that I want to share right now, and this is all food for thought. And everything's related. Everything is related to everything else. On the surface, they seem all unrelated, but it is related. Okay? So you take care. Bye-bye.